Hey, and welcome to another episode of Learn Mac Tonight. I'm your host, Vic Sidis, and this is episode 11. We're going to go and continue on our quest with mail. This is part 2. So as you remember from before, we have installed our mail program, got it working, and we can see that we've got mail down here on our dock. The mail stamp has number 3, which shows we've got 3 new mails that we haven't read. We just click on our mail to bring that up, and we can go here to our inbox, and we'll see that new mail is marked with this little dot showing that we've got new mail. And if we look, there's actually 2 emails that are from the similar settings, so they group those together. We see a little number 2 here to show, and I sent these to myself. Now remember that we had set up rules the last time to show which account they were coming from, because we have a Gmail account and we have a Yahoo account, and so we know that our Yahoo accounts all show up green, and I did change it to orange. I didn't like that blue color because it kind of goes along with the blue when you click on them. For my Gmail accounts. So now we're going to show you a few more things that we can do with our mail. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is preferences and how we can customize the mail program to our liking. So from the mail, we go up here to mail, and we want to bring up our preference tab. And we'll start off here with general. Now it's kind of up to you how you want to set these up, but I'm going to go through a few options that I think I like. So yes, our default email reader I'm going to leave at the mail program. Checking for new messages. How often is it going to go out to the server? And we can do this manually, or we can tell it every minute or every hour or whatever. I think 5 minutes kind of works for me, so that's what I'm going to keep it at. You can change the sound that you get when you receive new message. And I'm going to just go ahead and use the standard sound, the new message sound that they have. Now we can decide the dock unread count could be just our inbox, could be all mailboxes. Since our inbox has both of our 2 accounts going to it, that'll work for me. We talked about iCal in a previous episode. If there's an invitation within an email, it can send that over to iCal. I kind of like to do that myself. Downloads folder, anytime you want to download a attachment, we can have it go to the download folder, or you can have other options if you want to choose another place for it to download. This is one I am going to change. I always like to put it to my desktop just because it's easier for me to find than trying to go to the download folder. So it's right there. Remove unedited downloads after message is deleted. That's what I like to do. If outgoing server is unavailable, show a list of alternative servers or automatically try sending it later. That one's fine with me. And when searching for all email boxes for results, so if you're doing a search for, say, an email you can't find, it can look through trash, it can look through junk, encrypted messages. I'm just going to leave mine through trash. We talked a little bit about accounts, and we set up our Gmail and our Yahoo, so I'm not going to talk about that. RSS feeder, that's the real simple syndication. If you want to subscribe to a blog or something that'll show right up on your email, you can set that up. In junk mail, we can make some changes to how things are filtered out as junk. I kind of go with the standard, so I'm not going to make much change there. This one here, it's up to you. You may want to change some of these things, you may not. So what happens whenever we quote a level, we have 3 levels that we can quote it, and that's basically shown by indentation and color. And those are, you can change those again if you want to go with purple instead of blue for the first level. So this is when you're quoting a text. Again, if you want to change your fonts for any of this, this is the area you can do that. Let's change a little bit here. I like to kind of kick these up to 14. Eyes are getting older, so it makes it a little better to read for me. So we'll do that. Viewing, one thing I do sometimes change is I like to be able to read a little more of the message. So you can show 4 lines, or you can leave 1 line, and these are these areas here, what your preview is, up to 5 lines of preview. So if you want to be able to kind of read through, sometimes you can read the preview and decide whether you want to even open the mail or not. The 2 tends to work fine for me, so I'm going to stick with that. These others I really don't make too much changes to. Again, composing, you can always set it for rich text or plain text. I leave it on the rich text. Check spelling as I type, I like that. If you want to automatically send the copies to yourself, you can do that. You can BC or CC that to yourself. BC is blind copy, meaning that the receiver won't know that you sent it to yourself. CC, they will know you sent it back to yourself. Most of this other stuff I'm just going to kind of leave the way it is. We talked about how you can make your signatures. We did those last time. And then we just started to touch on these rules. There's a lot that you can do with these things, and we're not going to talk about that today, but we did our basic rules so that we got the mails to separate into different colors. But that's going to be about it for the preferences. I'm pretty good with that. The next thing I want to talk to you about is flagging mails. This is a nice little feature I like. So we get to our email and we can see that we have this list of flags up here. And if we drop this down, there's different colors. So we can put certain emphasis on different emails by putting a flag on them. All right, I received this note from Google that sent me something, and it's kind of an important message. I don't want it to get lost, so I'm going to put a flag on it. So we flag this one red. You can go to any color that you want, but you can also give these colors a name. So if we go over here to the flagged area, we see here's red. If I double click on that red, we can change this to urgent. And yellow, we can give it a name, and we'll call it hold. So something I just want to hold, but I don't want it, it's not really urgent. You can put a yellow flag on it. So we go over to our email, and this testing mail, I'm just going to go ahead here and flag that as a hold. And you see here, we even get our names, urgent, hold. And you can give all these different names, or you just leave the colors, whatever works for you. The nice thing is, when we want to just see what our urgent messages are, we click the flag, it shows just our urgent messages. We want to see what messages are for hold, we click our hold message. And it's really a nice way. And then if you want to get rid of your flag, you can just click your flag to clear it. And then it gets that gone, just like that. So really kind of useful. I use the flags a fair amount to try to store email projects. The next thing that I find really useful is folders. We're going to take our mail that we want to save and put it in special folders so that we can find it later. So I'm going to talk to you about how you can add folders, get rid of folders. Gmail actually comes with its own set of folders, and so did Yahoo. Since we're going to be mostly working out of the inbox, I'm going to get rid of these. So we can go right over here to this, delete this mailbox. Yeah, we want to delete that. As a matter of fact, we're going to take all three of these, and we're going to delete all of those. And there, they're gone. So now we just have a Gmail box without its own separate folders. Yahoo, you can't delete these, so I'm just going to instead hide that, and we're going to hide that. So I don't really have those bothering me. This is what I want to concentrate on. So we're going to add new mailboxes. Go down to this little plus here. We're going to add a new mailbox. And then up here we can pick a location. On my Mac, that's where we're going to put it to. We could actually add it to our Gmail account or to our Yahoo account. But we're going to put it here. And the first thing I want to do is create a work folder. And we see here it shows right there. And I'm going to add another one here. We'll call this home. So the stuff that pertains to home. And I think we'll create another one. I always like a mailbox that I call just hold. Just don't know where I want to keep it, but I know I don't want to get rid of it, so I'm just going to put it in a little hold box. And that's a good start. And you can actually add subcategories to these. So under work, let's say I want to add a mailbox to work. I have a specific new mailbox there. We can put it under the work. We can put job 1. So everything that has to do with job 1 is going to be under my work envelope. And we can see there it is. So you can have sub envelopes and sub envelopes of this. You really can see how you're able to create a nice folder system. So let's show you how we get these things filed. So here I have a couple of mails I set up to myself. So here's a test mail that I said I'm going to file in family. Well, that's really going to be my home. So if I right click it, I can move it to, and then here's my options. Right here I can move it to my home folder. And here I have a couple mails, file and business. So these two obviously are going into business. There's one thing I do want to customize this a little bit here. So if we go up here to our view, customize toolbar, the one thing I'm looking for that's missing here is my move. And I'm going to put that right over here. Done. If you're not sure what these things are called, we can right click here and change that to icon and text, and it tells us. So as we click in here, we can move right to our work folder. And here's another, the next test mail says it's to go into the family, so we move it to the family, which is, again, I said, called it home this time. My last one here, right click here, move to, and if you're moving everything to the same place, it does give you the option always to go to the last place you send it to, but just for sake, we'll go up here and bring that over here. We're just going to move that to hold. So now we've read all our emails, and instead of throwing them away in the trash, we're going to hang on to them. So I hope you really enjoyed that episode. I got a couple final thoughts for you. I think you'll find that it is easy to organize mail by using rules to give the different colors. You can actually use those rules to send certain mails right to those folders. Again, super easy to use. I love this email system. You know, email works on your iPad, so you can answer your mail on your iPad, and everything can be synced through iCloud, making it seamless. Probably will do a demonstration on using mail with the iPad in the future. I'm getting my new iPad version 3 coming next Friday. And hey, speaking of email, don't forget you can email me by going to our website, learnmactonight.com. Hit the contact button, send me a quick email, let me know what you're thinking. You know, what would be a great program you'd like to learn about on your Mac. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you again.